Hello to everyone. Welcome to Rain Francis Art. My name is Rain. Francis. And today I'm going to be painting and drawing, hopefully if I have time, to draw the Northern Lights. I'm going to do two paintings of the Northern Lights. They're so simple, very, very easy. You're going to have a great time. Juliet, hello. Hello, welcome, Juliet. I don't think I know you, do I? Have you left comments before? Your name sounds very familiar. Juliet, what a beautiful name. Wherefore art thou, Juliet? Thank you so much for joining me. Are you going to follow along? This is going to be fun. So I'm just going to rev myself up here. I've got some, these are called gold stones. And I do this before every live stream because they're stones for success. Ooh, and I can feel the energy going all the way up my body. So I'm ready and raring to go. So nice of you to be here. So I am going to actually switch my phone around. Oh yes, look at these. It's goldstone. I think it's called brown, or I think it's brown goldstone or red goldstone. It's got those little bits of copper in it. And I swear, Juliet, when it's unbelievable the energy that flows all the way up my arms. It's really something. I love it. Oh, I better stop because I can't contain myself. You have green stones with gold flecks. Oh, those are nice. Are those what they call, I've forgotten the name, jasper? Is that possible, jasper? I'm not sure. They're beautiful though. I have a lot of stones. I have amethyst because that's my birthstone. I have some rose quartz and things like that. I find them pretty, but I never actually use them, you know, to feel their energy. And now that I'm getting into them big time. So what I'm going to do is, it's going to be a little wobbly for a while because I have to switch my phone to my tripod here so that you guys can see what I'm doing. So let me just do this, and you might get a big close-up of my finger. Is there a way to chat with you on the video? No, there isn't, unless we did a collaboration. That's the only thing. That's the only way you can do it, unfortunately. The only thing we can do is chat. You chat in the chat box, and I can read your comments and reply to you that way. So let me switch my camera here so that you'll be able to see, and sorry about my finger. Okay, I want to get that in the right spot so that you can see the top and the bottom. Move this a bit. All right. I think we're good. You guys can see all the way over here. And I'll just try to make that relatively even there. Okay. All right. So, but Juliet, if you have any questions or anything like that, please do just type them in. And I've got my computer over there because I can't see the phone now. My computer's over there, and I've got the chat going over there. So hopefully, if you have anything you wanted to ask me, I could definitely reply to you. Let me just refresh my page, and then I'm pretty much ready to go. Except I want to do it the other way. Hold on. Let me get this going right here. Can I do it this way? Okay, sorry about this. I just want to make sure that I've got it looking okay for you. Can you see both sides? It might have to be higher. It's one of these arm, you know, that's an arm type of tripod. I know there's an echo. Let me just mute this tab here. There we go. Okay, let's see. Orientation. Okay, so sorry about this, guys. I'm going to do that again. I've got to turn this around here, but I want to make sure you can see everything because it's a vertical video and I have this going the other way. So let me just get my bearings here. And I promise this won't take too long. I promise, I promise, I promise. Okay. Let me just move my canvas. I always forget that YouTube does vertical videos, you know. Okay. There. And I'll turn my phone again and move this way so that everything is visible. There we go. Is that all right? Does that look okay, or is it all crooked? Put this up here. There, I think that's better. I think that's better. Okay. So there we go. I hope it's light enough to see as well. It's good there? Okay, don't move, Rain. Don't move it. I told you, I always forget, you know, I'm used to doing live streams through a streaming software, and you can do horizontal videos, but I always forget that YouTube's platform only does vertical. Just plugging my phone in, so I'm shaking up a bit. Okay, so there we go. We've got everything ready here. So let me see, you said, Juliet, I've done watercolor, but I am not doing acrylic or oils. I'm currently in love with coloring pencils and charcoal. Yes, I do all those things, and I love charcoal, especially white charcoal on black art paper. I love that so much. And coloring pencils, I'm totally into that now. How do you blend? I'm just curious how you blend with coloring pencils, because I use an odorless solvent. I used to use, what are they called? Colorless blenders, but I don't like them. And I also use lighter colors to color in, and I'll show you all of that after. So, oh, look who's here. My good friend Lexi. Just popping in to say hi. I know you're busy gal. You're a busy gal. So thank you for supporting me, my dear. Tap, tap. So I'm going to take some of my rings off because that's going to annoy me. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm doing 2 paintings, okay, with acrylics. I've got black here. I've got 1 canvas here that I'm going to completely cover with black, all right? So let me get that going. I'm going to completely cover it with black acrylic. Thanks for joining me, Juliet. This is Lexi. Lexi, this is Juliet. Okay. These paints, they come with these caps in them, and they're nail breakers. Just letting you know. Oh, come on. There we go. So I've got my black paint here. I'm just going to put some in the middle because I know that I'll be using a lot of black. So I'll put a whole bunch of black there. All right. Now what I usually do is I will wet my brush. I always wet my brush when I'm using acrylics. And there's a pet hair. How lovely. I have 5 dogs and a cat, Juliet, so there is bound to be pet hair everywhere. Okay, so for this canvas, I'm just going to paint it because I want a black background. And I'm going to paint the whole thing black and let it dry while I'm starting another painting, okay? That's just letting you know what I'm doing. So I know this is not completely in the center of my phone right now, like here, but there's nothing too interesting going on except for the fact that I'm painting everything black. Lexi, and we also call her Sexy Lexi, and sexy is with an I as well. She's a beautiful woman. You have fur everywhere too. Yeah, I know. It just becomes part of our life, doesn't it? We just get used to it. I remember when I first, as an adult, when I first had my dogs, I had 2 pugs, and you wouldn't think for tiny little dogs with short hair like that, but my gosh, did they shed. And I was trying everything I could figure out how to get their coats not to shed so much, and in the end I just went, you know what, it is what it is. They're dogs, they shed. Yeah, I can brush them 20 times a day, but they're still going to shed like crazy. So I came to accept the fact that I would always have pet hair on my clothes, on my car seat, on my couch, sometimes in my food, as anyone with pets knows. Switching to TV, but I'm still watching. Oh, okay, cool. On TV. Oh, good thing I switched the phone. I came on before and I was in front of my phone. If I'm that big on your TV, Lexi, oh my gosh. You'll see all the pores in my nose. All right. So I just wanted to do just a thin coat of black acrylic, just so that we have a black background on our second painting. Though this is the first thing we're going to do, I want to let this dry. And I just got some acrylic paint all over my fingers. That's right, Juliet. If you want to have a clean house, you do not have pets. You got that straight. So I'm going to take this canvas and I'm going to put it aside because I want it to dry. There we go. So I've got my other canvas down here, which I got a little bit of black acrylic on it, but I'll just wipe that off. Acrylic can be wiped off, not completely, but most of it. Hey, Ange is here. Hi, Ange. Hey, Ange. Roots and Waves is Ange, A-N-G. And Ange, this is Juliet. Juliet is, I've never seen her before. She's here for the first time. She's into watercolor. She's totally into charcoal and coloring pencils. I say coloring, it's colored pencils. So we've got some beautiful artists here. All of these creative, beautiful people that I hang out with, all creative in their own ways. Okay, so this, my friends, is probably going to be the easiest painting you're ever going to do. I'm saying that right now. So what I've got is, let's see, I've got green acrylic, I've got phthalo blue, any blue will do, and I've got a bit of a darker, where's my dark blue? This is a different brand, but it's Prussian Blue, which is a darker blue. And I've got a little bit of white here, okay? And I've got my black. These 5 colors here for this one. I have a little gray here, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. I just brought it out anyway. And I just realized what I should have done was taken all those nail-breaking caps off. So how about I just entertain you with my voice while I pull all these caps off and break all my nails in the process. All right, so I've got the green off. Let's get phthalo blue off. Where are you from, Juliet? I'm in New Brunswick, Canada, in the Maritimes. And Ange is also from Canada. And Lexi is from, I always forget if it's North or South Carolina. One of them Carolinas Lexi is from. Okay, this one's good. And I've got my white. Oh, cap is still in there. If it won't break my nails, it'll ruin my manicure. Oh, you're in Oklahoma. Dixie! Oh, Dixie! Hey, you guys, this is Dixie. Dixie is a friend from Blogger. We've known each other for a little while now. Oh, it's so nice to see you, Dixie. Thank you for popping in. So my link actually worked this week. The last time I did one, I put the wrong link in, and I think, Dixie, you know Jelena, right? Jelena from Trinidad. She wanted to come into the live stream, but I had put the wrong link and she missed it. So this time, definitely, I've got the right link. Thank you so much, Dixie. Lexi and Karen are South Carolina. Nancy is North Carolina. Okay, so Lexi is South Carolina. Thank you, Ange. Dixie, you are from Ontario. That's true. Ange is from Ontario too. As you know, I'm in New Brunswick. Okay, so here's, I'm telling you, this is the easiest thing you're ever going to do. I saw someone do this. Put a little bit of a blob of green there. And a little blob of the Phthalo Blue. It's hard to come out. There we go. And I've got that darker Prussian blue here. Okay, I'm thoroughly confused. Lexi is North Carolina with Nancy. And you're confusing me. Karen is South Carolina. Yeah. You're confusing us, Ange. And look what I just did. I got Prussian blue all over my hand. Hey, I'm an artist. What the hell? So I'll put some Prussian blue on the top right there. Now I'm going to take, I have this 1-inch dollar store brush here. I'm just going to wet it slightly and dab it. Just dab it. And then I'm going to go across like this. And I'm kind of bringing the brush down to mix the green into the blue and the blue into the green. Just want to get all the edges done. I've masking taped my canvas down here. All right, I'm going to just rinse off that brush in my water here on the side and dry it up as much as I can. I just love, look at the color of the paper towel. Like, that's a nice color in itself. I see art everywhere. All right, I'm going to add just a little bit more green right here. Okay, a little more green at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to rinse off my brush. Now I'm going to dry it as much as I can, again, just on paper towels. Got a bunch of paper towels here. I'm just going to dry the brush because I don't want it to be too wet for the next step. And you're funny. You're probably tired. I just play it safe and I say Lexi's from Carolina. While I have my paper towels out, I'm going to try to get all that paint off my fingers. Usually I'm not that messy, but my Prussian blue exploded on me. All right, get it off my fingers here. Okie dokie. So now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that same brush, and it's dried off pretty much, okay? And I'm going to do this. I'm turning it around because I don't want all that blue. I'm going to wipe it off a bit on the side because I don't want the blue into the green. Now the idea is that you want the green to come up into the blue to sort of spotlight the northern lights. But I did get a little bit of green into the bottom, so I'm going to just wipe off my brush again. And I'm just going to gently, gently, gently remove some of that blue. I'm going to add some more green, so it's not, you know, it's not a big deal. But I just don't want any blue in the bottom down there, all right? So I'm running out of paper towels. Just going to get up and grab another one. And I'm I'm going to try to fix my light so you guys don't have so much of a glare. Let's see, how does that look? The glare is at the bottom now. How about that? Okay, there's no glare now. Wonderful. And you can kind of see what I'm going after a little more easily here, I think. So I'm going to add a little bit more of that green. Oh, my puppy's up. I'm just going to take a different brush. Just a flat brush, okay? And with that large brush, try to get all of that blue off it. I'm going to do this again. So the green is now going into the blue sky, you see? That's how that works. You can do this with any color, yellows and pinks. If you've ever seen the Northern Lights, you know that there are tons of different colors. And there's something interesting that that happened. I saw the Northern Lights here in New Brunswick last, gosh, was it last fall? I can't remember. It's very rare for me to see them here. And I took pictures of them, and they were completely different colors than what my eye was able to see. Has that ever happened to you guys? Ange, didn't you say something like that too? I know you're working while you're watching, Ange, but I don't know if you, I think you said that too. Your son maybe saw different colors than you did? I'm just going to add a little more green. I actually put the pictures up on my website, rainfranciscreations.com. They're right on the first page there. All right, I'm going to do this here. Okay. And same thing. Just want to clean off my brush. Don't want any of that blue in there. And I'm going up again, so that the green goes even higher up. The wider the brush, I think the nicer it would look. If I had a wider brush. My brush is falling apart here. I'm going to have to go and pick that off. It's a dollar store, you know. Not the greatest quality, but that's okay. I don't like to spend a lot of money on art supplies. Ange says, yes, it's rare to be able to capture the actual colors of Northern Lights. Sunsets, sunrises on camera. Not the same lens as our naked eye, and same thing with the moon. Hard to capture it, yeah. It's interesting because my friend Nick, her son also saw I think it was her son who saw the Northern Lights. And he's like, do you see the pinks and the yellows? And she's like, no, I just see greens and blues. Just different eye colors, you know? Okay, so that's the basis of my Northern Lights right there. Now, what you can do after that is you can put a little water down here, or you can put like whatever you want. You can put a forest. I'm just going to grab some of my, I don't want to touch the Prussian blue anymore because it's gone all over my hands. So I'm going to maybe grab a little bit of my black. Yep, that's my black. And I'm going to put a little black down there. And I'll use this brush now just to paint in the black down here. This is a very simple painting, my friends. So I'm going to put a little bit more black onto my palette because I'm going to draw a few, or paint a few trees. Just a little black onto my palette there. Now, what do I want to take? I'm going to grab one of my flat brushes, just a little flat brush, and I'm going to add some trees. There. Okay. Just going to rinse that off a little bit because there's a lot of paint on there. And again, with my flat brush, I'm just kind of putting a little bit of paint on it, and I'm going to just make some trees, just some conifer trees. You see, I'm kind of just zigzagging around here. I'm tapping, by the way, just tapping, tap, tap, tap. Hey, I say that all the time. I'm tapping my heart and saying and sending you love. Tap, tap, tap. So I tap too with my paintings. And then put a little top there. I'm going to be adding some stars too. I'm hoping that the painting will dry a little bit before I get to the stars. I'm going to make them bigger at the bottom so that they connect down there. And, you know, I love how, we all know how huge conifer trees can get, right? But I love in the painting that I'm doing here that I'm making them, like, look at how small they are compared to that sky, you know? And trees are big, but the sky is even bigger. I'm thinking of Bob Ross now and what he says, you know, oh, we have to make more than one tree. This little fella needs a friend here. I love Bob Ross. Hey, Karen's here. Karen. Care Bear is Karen, guys. I think the only one who might not know that. Oh, well, Juliet and Dixie. This is Karen, Care Bear. How are you, Karen? Thanks for coming in. I wanted to check out your live stream today, but I was all a flitter and a flutter trying to get ready for this. I always think I'm ready, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot to do this, I forgot to do that. And what's happening right now, my camera's going to shake for a second, guys, okay? I've got to move. There we go. My cable, because I have to keep it plugged in or else the battery is going to die because I'm doing this via my phone. And I lost my train of thought. I was saying, yes, I thought I was all ready, but I really wasn't. It was 9:30 and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be late. Okay, so there's my tiny little forest. And you see how easy that was? I mean, that was so easy, right? Tell me that wasn't easy. I dare you to tell me that wasn't easy. Come on. What was that commercial? I dare you to knock this battery off my shoulder, or I dare you to knock this bag of chips off my shoulder. Am I making something up here? Okay, guys, I got to fix that wire. It's going to fall into my water. So let me fix that wire up here. If my phone shakes, please excuse that. Okay. Great. Yeah, Karen, I was saying before, Dixie is a lady I met through Blogger. I was on Blogger for so many years. Oh, I did it again. Oops, I did it again. There we go. I think I was on Blogger. I actually started blogging in 2004, I think. But it wasn't a blog back then. It was like, oh my God, what was it called? There was this site where you could, have kind of a blog, but it wasn't really a blog. It was like a one-page dealie. I can't remember what it was called. I'm just wiping off my brushes here. I wish I could remember. Anyway, I started actually blogging publicly because a lot of the times my stuff was private. It was just sort of a journal for me, an online journal. And I started publicly blogging in 2017 or 2018. And that's actually when I started teaching myself how to draw and paint, because I'm a self-taught gal. And Dixie, do you remember Michael from Scribble Picnic? That's what kind of got me going into the art community on Blogger. And he had a weekly art date, I guess. I call it my art date now. He had one weekly called Scribble Picnic, and he would provide prompts, and it would challenge all of us to get creative to the prompts. And he stopped doing it, so I took over, and I called it Thursday Art and Dinner Date, because I also add food all the time, food everywhere. And it's been going strong now. I think I'm in my 8th year now. Dixie is always there. Mostly always there. You can't recall him? Yeah, it may have been before you and I met. Because I think, Dixie, we may have met through somebody else's blog about birds, I believe. I'm just trying to clean my hands here, guys, while this is drying a little bit. Because, Karen, you know what happened? I had this this bottle of Prussian Blue here. When I opened it, it exploded all over my hands. It's like I got blue all over my hands. But what can you do? All right, so I'm going to let this dry for a little bit. If you guys will indulge me, I'm just going to look at my water. So I'm just going to run to the kitchen and get some clean water. I will be back in just a jiff. Talk amongst yourselves. Everybody stay. Okay, I'm back, guys. Thanks for waiting. I took the opportunity to wash my hands. Try to get some of that paint off my hands. All right, so my little puppy is a little too curious about the paints here. Don't touch that, Benny. Don't touch. Okay. There, he went and laid down, so he's good now. So what I'm going to do is I want to put a few stars in the sky. So that means I'm going to take out my white acrylic, and hopefully this won't explode all over my hands. Exploding paint, I know. It had to happen, you know, Karen. As you know, when we are doing our live streams, things are going to happen, right? Karen has 3 kids, right? Twins and a third child. And sometimes she has to go tend to her children during live streams, and we're all understanding of that. It's just life. I always say this is reality TV, right? Reality TV. So I'm going to grab a tiny little brush here. This is just a tiny little #1 brush. I think this is a dollar store brand too. I buy a lot of stuff at the dollar store. So usually I take a paintbrush, a toothbrush to do that. But I don't want the stars to get into the northern lights here. So I'm just going to go around and put little dots randomly if I can. Without getting paint all over my shirt. Constant chaos where you are, right, Karen? Yeah. Well, I gotta tell you, I don't know how you do it, girl. I think having 5 dogs and a cat is something. I can't even imagine having the human variety of children. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do. I just wanted to do just, a little bit. And what I was thinking of doing, I don't know if I'm going to ruin my painting or not, but I was thinking of adding a little bit of green down here just to see what that looks like. Should I do it? Should I do it? Come on, help me. Should I do it? I'm going to do it. So let me put a little green onto my palette. And let's see if I ruin it or not. I tend to go overboard sometimes when I'm doing stuff like this. So I've got a little green on my flat brush. And I'm just going to see. I can always cover it with black again, right? I'll put a little green all the way across. A little more. Because I'm going to do the swipe thing down too. Just so we have some reflection. Because I don't know what this is. This could be water. It could just be the ground. Haven't determined that yet. Now, I keep banging my phone, so sorry about that. I'm still working on the best setup for myself here. So I've got my flat brush. Maybe I should take my larger flat brush. This is a large flat brush here, and it's pretty dry now. I'm just going to pull it down a little bit. Let's see if that looks all right. 5 dogs and 1 cat is pretty challenging. Yeah, they're all asleep right now. I'm telling you, there's something about my voice that keeps them really quiet. It soothes them. I've been told I have a nice, meditative voice. That's a nice compliment that I got one time, and I've heard it several times. I'm just wiping my brush off. You know what? I like how that looks. I think I'm going to add more green. She's going to do it. Oh, thank you, Karen. Karen said, especially being rescues, you are helping heal their traumas. I'm trying so hard. Oh my gosh. Lucy is the one who is the most traumatized. And she has started fights with the others. It's called fear aggression. And especially at first when I got them, when anyone went near her puppy, Benny, she wouldn't allow it. She would growl, hackles up, like it was really something. And I didn't know what to do. She got into some major fights that required veterinary surgery to the other dogs. It was really scary. The last fight was in January, and it's been good since then. But I watch them like a hawk. I have to watch her like a hawk. She's separated right now from the others because I don't trust her completely, you know? I hate saying that. I hate saying that I don't trust her. It makes me feel bad. Okay, I'm going to put a little more green directly on here. And I'll just do this. And then bring it down. All right. Don't think I ruined it. So I'm going to just grab a clean brush and I'm going to put just a little black here. Because I kind of erased the black a little bit. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring the black down. And then I think I should stop before I overdo it too much. Now, do I have another flat brush? Because all my brushes, when they get wet, it doesn't work as well. So let's see if I bring that down. I'm going to erase the green. Yep, I'm erasing the green. So I will be putting more green on. That's the beauty of this. You can always add to it. Okay, I'll add some more green to that. And then I'm going to stop. I have a very nice voice, like honey. Thanks, Karen. There's a song from the 90s or the 80s, I think now. They were called the Jesus and Mary Chain, and they had a song called Honey. And those guys knew how to sing. Oh my gosh. Just like honey. That's how the song went. Just like honey. And I am really using a light touch here, guys. As Bob Ross would say, a little hair and some air. Just touch it a little hair and some air. Oh, thank you, Dixie. 5 rescue doggies. I can't go into a shelter and not come home with at least one. That was, you know, when I moved here to New Brunswick in 2020 now. I can't believe I've been here for 5 years. That was one of my goals. Like, I want to have as many dogs as I want. When I lived in Quebec, everywhere, unless you lived like way out in the boonies somewhere, they all restricted you to 2 dogs. Not allowed to have more than 2 dogs. And they said something about 2 cats. Like, how in the heck are they going to, you know, manage that? I saw Jesus and Mary Chain. They were great, except I fainted during that show. It was so hot. It was at a place where we were standing the whole time. We didn't have seats. So it was getting hot and I was getting dizzy. And I remember just lights going out. But my friend at the time, he was next to me. He pulled, oh, I got a little bit of water on there. Oops. He saved me. He grabbed me before I fell and hit the ground. You have to separate your twins at some point during the day, Karen, yeah? What, do they fight? I don't know anything about kids. Yeah, I just wanted to cover that. Oh, it's the Phthalo Blue I should have put in there, but I don't want to open it. It's going to explode on me again. You know what I'll do? I'll open it with a paper towel over it. you'd want a cat rescue? You mean like actually opening up a rescue for cats? Or you want a cat that you rescue? Because at one point I thought about opening up a dog rescue here. Okay, well, we've got that little spot, so why don't I put a few more and I'll just wisp them up. There we go. Oh, your kids fight? Yeah. I guess kids fight, eh? I think when any species is around each other too long, there's bound to be tension. Like my vet was talking to me about what's called same-sex aggression, where if you've got a bunch of boy dogs or a bunch of girl dogs together, they just get sick of each other at some point and they fight. That's what they do. You technically want both, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I want, as many cats as I want. They restricted how many pets. Yeah, you never heard that before. That's how they do it in Quebec, in those little villages, because you have to buy licenses for them. Here I live in a rural area that is not zoned, so I don't have to buy licenses for my dogs, and I can have as many as I want because I'm in farm town too, farm area. So lots of people around here with lots and lots of animals. So okay, my friends, except for that little blotch up there, which I'll fix after all of this dries. I'm just going to fix that so that my thumbnail doesn't look so bad. But that's the first painting. That was the easy peasy way to do the Northern Lights. Now, I'm just going to take the masking tape off, even though the paint's probably not dry yet, just to get it out of the way. I love doing this, taking off the masking tape. And I'll tell you my story about wanting to open a dog shelter here. All right. I love framing my paintings. I know some people like to paint all the way to the edge, but I like to frame them. There we go. So that painting's done. Painting numero uno is done. I'm pretty happy with this, except for, like I said, when this all dries, I'm going to go in and put some of the Prussian blue there because it's too wet right now. It's not sticking. So now at the top of the show, I painted this canvas completely black. That's what I wanted. So let me center this. And that's centered there. I'm not going to put masking tape on it. So I'm probably going to have doity fingers. But that's okay. This is another easy way to paint the Northern Lights. So Karen says, I'm manifesting seeing Northern Lights in person. You're in South Carolina. Are you too far down? Is that the dealio? I think you're too far down, right? I didn't think I could see the Northern Lights, but I saw them last year. They were beautiful. Oh, in Iceland or Alaska specifically. I wanted to go to the Yukon to see the Northern Lights at some point, but you know, with 5 dogs and a cat, like, I'm homebound now. It's not happening for a while, but I would love to go to the Yukon and rent a little cabin in the middle of nowhere and just sit and look outside all the time. That's what I would love to do. And I am going to do a cross-country tour. That's on the bucket list, definitely. But I kind of have to wait out the pet situation first. Not so many. I might be able to take 2 with me, but not 5. And not a cat. Definitely. Although my cat, baby Oscar, he's just like one of the dogs. He's very sweet. Okay, so why don't I figure out what I'm doing here? I'm going to grab my paintbrushes while I hit my camera again. Sorry about that, guys. And I'm just going to wash off my paintbrushes. Oh, thank you, Dixie. Framing. You like the framing? Do you do that too with masking tape? I love framing things with the masking tape. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how, when I'm doing painting videos, I'm going to have like 50 million buckets of water here because my water gets dirty so fast when I'm using acrylics. I know, Prussian Blue, so fancy, eh? Fancy pants names for these paints. It's a dark blue is what it is. Dark blue. All right. Okay, because I want to use some of the same brushes. Oh, you usually go to the edges, Dixie? If you can, give it a try. Yeah, it's fun. Maybe for this. Well, actually, it does look good like that. But I do that for pretty much all of my stuff. I like to frame. I even do that for when I'm doing charcoal drawings and coloring pencils. Coloring, I say coloring, that's wrong. It's colored pencils. Colored pencils. Karen says, manifest a pet guardian. I would not, you know something? You need it. Yeah, you have to manifest childcare. Oh, you poor girl. Oh my goodness. Do you guys hear knocking? Can you hear the knocking? You know what that is? That's a huge crow on the bird feeder trying to open up the seeds I put out. Wish I could show you. They're so flighty. If I move my camera and bring it to the window, he's going to be gone. But yeah, that's what it is. It's really cool. Okay. So Prussian Blue sounds like dinner china blue to me. Yeah. I love the names of these paints. Okay, so this one, believe it or not, is even more simple. Okay. Once we have the black, I just used black acrylic and I painted it all black and it's dry now. Okay. So I've got just my regular, this is a number 12, but don't go by the numbers because every brand is completely different. This is a number 12 flat brush. And if I go with another brand, let's see, this is another brand here. This is a number 8. You know, they're different sizes, but they're not all the same because I've seen some, like this is a number 2 in this brand, yet this is a number 8 in that brand, and they're almost exactly the same. So I never really say, okay, you need a number 2 brush, you need a number this brush, because they're completely different depending on the brand. So I've just got like a, you know, size of your fingernail brush. There you go. Now watch what I'm going to do. Let me get my stuff ready here. What I've got is this flat brush here. And then I'm going to take my larger flat brush, this one. It says it's a number 12 for this brand. Okay. It's still a little wet. I'm going to dry it off a bit. Okay, so I've got a larger flat brush. And we're basically going to be doing the same thing as we're going to be wisping up with the larger flat brush here, okay? And then I have this mop brush. They call it a mop brush. And this is just going to be used to soften everything up. Okay, it's really, actually, it's very soft. It's nice. I think this is dollar store as well. So I might be losing some of the, you know, some of the brush hair as I go along. But it's black, so hopefully it won't show. So Karen said, my son did a Northern Lights painting in art camp last year. I'll snap a pic and send it to you. Oh, yes, please do. They did it on black cardstock. That's nice. Yeah, don't forget, I'm actually going to write myself a quick note so that I'll ask you on WhatsApp to send it to me. Because, you know, I do have the Kids Art channel, Karen. And my friend Nick, just let me type in my note here. Ask Karen for Northern Lights painting from her son. There we go. You know Nick, right? Her kids have done some of my art lessons on Rain Francis Art for Kids, and she sends them to me, and I post them on Instagram, and I say, look at the lovely Lily. She's only 13 years old, and look at it, you know, just to get them excited about art and stuff like that. So I could do that too. Definitely, I can do that too, but I would need your permission to do that. So I'll remind you later. It can be a kids art version. Yeah, definitely. And kids can do this. The one I just showed you is so easy. I know you missed some of it, but I just basically dropped paint, went like this, and added some black trees. It's just super easy. So now what I'm going to do is take my white, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. We're already an hour in. I hope I have time to draw. I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to take my larger flat brush and do this. And I'm going to be doing several layers, okay? So this is definitely not it. And we're going to add color to it as well. So I'm just going to be going and doing that all the way across my canvas. Just little whoop, shoop, like that. And you have to do the sound effects, okay? Or else it doesn't work. Whoop, shoop. Don't know where I came up with that one. It's so quiet right now, guys. Oh my gosh. Now, if you're finding it's hard to whoosh up, wet your brush a little bit maybe. There we go. And it's important that the black paint is dry. You don't want your canvas too wet, because what's happening now is the black is starting to mix in with the white. So what I'm going to do is I've got a little spray bottle. I'm just going to give it just a little mist, slight mist. And if you see any bubbles, just pat it all down. And I'm going to move quickly through this. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure my brush is dry. Whoosh up. You have to kind of work quickly because some acrylics dry super duper fast. This, look at how long this handle is. It's the size of my canvas. It's crazy. That's why it keeps hitting the phone. Karen said, absolutely, you have my permission. My son would be so happy to know his art was being shared on social media. He will be like, Mom, I got 20 likes now. Wow. That's cute. I am rarely on Instagram these days, but I'm trying to go back to it. Trying. I just find my plate is so stacked with projects that I'm doing and live streams and stuff like that. I'm loving it. But at the same time, it's like, oh, my plate's full. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do some more. Right away. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And you can add more paint. Do a little bit at a time if you find that your paint is drying too quickly. Okay, that's what I'm doing here. Just a little bit at a time. You can go both ways, you know. If you want to do this, that's cool too. Karen says, Instagram isn't as fun for me. I'm pretty non-existent on there. Yeah, it used to be something that I liked, but I'm a YouTube gal, you know. I like YouTube. I like the interaction with people on YouTube. I still enjoy doing my blog every week. I used to be more active doing blog stuff. See, I'm hitting the camera now. Can't help it. This is way too big. I wish I could take the top off. And I'll do one this way. I'm going to add a lot more paint, actually. As I'm doing this, I forgot. Yeah, my idea was when I got my 5 dogs, And Dixie, I don't know if I told the story. I may have put it on the blog at one point, but you may have missed the blog post. Sorry, I keep hitting. Can't help it. Can't help it. Well, I think you probably remember my hound dog, Jack, who passed away last year, just over a year ago. He was my soulmate. And that was a hard loss for me, and I still get very teary-eyed when I think of him. I only had Raven, my Rottweiler Raven, after that. And she seemed really lonely because I had 5 dogs at one point, and they all got old at the same time, you know. I had Stella and Pavlov and Marlene and Charlie and Jack. And when Charlie passed away in 2022, I adopted Raven. You remember Jack, eh? Yeah, Dixie. Jack was a superstar on the internet. He was all over my blog. So I adopted Raven when Charlie passed away. And when Jack passed away, it's like the house is too quiet, way too quiet. And I went to the shelter because I got, I'm not kidding. Some people might think I'm crazy, but this is the actual truth. I had a dream to contact the shelter. Jack was in my dream telling me to contact the shelter. And I called them and they said, "Oh, we were thinking of you. We have a puppy here." And it was like, this is too cool, you know. But I went to the shelter. It was a 4-hour drive north. I'm in the middle of New Brunswick, and I had to go all the way up almost to Edmundston. And I found out when I got there that it wasn't just a puppy. It was the puppy and his mama, Lucy, Benny and Lucy, and her mama, Miley, who had all been rescued from the same puppy mill. And the girls were in terrible shape. They were malnourished and neglected and thin. Oh my God, thin. And I couldn't separate them. So I took all 3 of them home with me that day. And Allie Faye was actually there at the same time. My 5th dog, she was there at the same time. She's a pointer, and but she had to have tail surgery because she had a broken blood vessel in her tail, and they couldn't save the tail, so they had to amputate it. And she wasn't available for adoption. But then that was last March, and then last June, I started thinking about Allie Faye, and I called the shelter, and she was still there 4 months later. So I went the next day and I brought her home. And I thought, well, this probably was a crazy idea, but the house is full of doggy love again, even though no one could replace Jack. 5 dogs doesn't replace Jack. Anyway, so I wanted to show you what I'm doing now. I've got my little palette here, and if I can find my little, I'm going to put a little water into one of these little compartments here, if it will allow me. Okay, just a tiny, tiny little bit of water here. And I'm going to add some of the white into there because I'm going to create some stars. And you don't want your paint to be super, super wet. You'll have to test it out and see. There are a few ways of creating stars. You can go in with one by one and go like that. Or you could, let's see, I'll take a round brush. Where's my round brush? Just got a round brush here. And I'm just going to fill up the round brush like this. Tap any extra off. Okay. And then just use a clean, whatever, paintbrush. And there's this way to do it. Okay, that's one way of doing it. Super, super easy way to do stars. Or, and snow too, by the way. Or if you have an old paintbrush, an old toothbrush, same deal. I don't have much paint left, but I've got, again, tap it off, and then you're going to go like that. I'm not going to show you because it's going to go all over my phone. But this is messy, but it works. See? You can get a nice galaxy going in there. So there we go. We've got our stars. That's such an easy way to do it with a toothbrush. And I think this goes without saying, but don't use the toothbrush after. Please, my friends. Don't use the toothbrush. And yeah, tell your kids, Karen. They might just use that toothbrush after. Oh, gosh. Karen says, we're talking about Instagram. Yeah, YouTube. We love YouTube. Same. And I'm not inundated with as much political junk and stuff I don't want to see. I agree with that. Totally agree with that. I'm at capacity with just the YouTube channel and the kids in my studies. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where I find all this time, but I find it. And Juliet says, you don't have to go looking for the right one. They call out to you. I know. I know they do. I know Raven was, it was during COVID. There were no dogs in the shelters. And Raven had already been, someone had already claimed her. And I knew deep down inside that she was meant for me. I knew that she was going to come to me. I just knew it. And I was third on the list. The first people bailed out on her. The second woman wanted her, but then decided at the last minute she didn't want a big dog. So I got a call. I remember the day before. I believe in, signs from the divine. I really, really do. And I remember the day before I got the call, I was driving my car, and there was a huge raven that flew right in front of my car, just swooped down and out of the way. Thank God, before I didn't want to hit it. I slammed on the brakes, but huge raven. I'd never seen one that big before. Next day, I got a call from the shelter. Are you still interested in adopting Raven? Yes, I am. She waited for me. You just got to try the toothbrush so your kids don't use them. It's funny. Okay, so I'm yattering on because I'm waiting for this to dry just slightly, because I'm going to use my magenta. I love this. I'm going to use that phthalo blue again and some green again. So I'm going to use those three colors. So I'll just load up my little palette with those while we're waiting on this to dry just a little bit. Just thinking, maybe I'm going to add some more white. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to add a little more white. I know this is crazy, but I got to do it. Got to do what I'm called to do. Just a little more white, and I'll use the same brush just to pull it up like that, and then I'll use the big brush to whoosh it up. Again, I'm so sorry about that, guys. I have to chop off the bottom of this top. It's so long. I could use it, it doesn't have to be that long. Why do they have to make them that long? Oh, yes, and I was going to tell you my idea that I was going to start a dog shelter, because after I saw how badly Lucy and Miley were at the shelter, it broke my heart. Lucy, for those of you who have seen my dogs, you know how big Lucy is. She weighs 65 pounds now. When I got her, she weighed 39. She was so neglected. And I think she was the one who had the worst time of it. It sickens me. And that's what I thought, and I even picked out a name. I was going to call it Rainy Day Dog Retreat. And I even got a domain name. I have a domain name. It's called Rainy Day Dog Retreat that I purchased because I didn't want anyone else to get it. But after doing a lot of research, I realized how expensive it would be to set it up, because you do have to follow the rules of the Humane Society here. You need specific crates for each of them, cages. You need to have a big area where they can run around. They all have to be able to get out. I did the math, and it would cost about $50,000 to set up my basement into a dog shelter. And you know what? Maybe it'll happen in the future. It could, right? Definitely could. So I'm going to keep that domain name handy, just in case. Okay, Dixie, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, these lives can be long because I'm a chatterbox at the same time. But thank you so much for coming in. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. Oh, you too, Juliet. Okay, we'll come back later because I am going to do the colored pencil version. And I know you're into the colored pencils. So what you can do is look at the replay and fast forward through whatever you don't want to see. But yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for coming and welcome. So glad to see your name there. Okay. Magenta, why are you going to explode on me? Okay. It's got that cap on it, so it's the breaky nail type of cap. Did I get it? There we go, I got it. Oh yeah, this is one of those, if I happen upon a large sum of money, I don't need to spend all at once. Yeah. Hey, Karen, you never know. You just never know, right? I've got my decks that I'm creating. I'm working on my YouTube channels. You know, I'm trying. I'm going to get my website advertisement done on my website this year. I'm going to open a web store. I'm trying everything I can to create my business. Because I've said this often, I'm on a disability income at the moment, and it actually stops at the age of 65. And I'm 57, and I'm scared. I don't have much in my savings, you know. So it scares me a little bit, knowing that. I'm just adding some more stars. Okay. You're raising future millionaires. Good for you. Oh, thank you. I was blessed with this young face here. But I am noticing that I'm getting some wrinkles now. I'm trying to hide them, but I'm getting them. Definitely getting them. Okay, I'm just going to take a little sip before I continue. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my big flat brush again, this flat brush, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to start putting in some color. I'm trying to pull the top off this, but I can't. It's going to hit the phone. It's going to hit the phone. It's just the way it is. Okay, why don't I start with some green? That really bright green there. I'm just going to kind of load up a little bit. And I'm going to go hold. See? I have to change brushes. That must be so annoying for the viewer. Maybe I should just move the canvas. Okay, I'm going to add more green. Oh, I'm so sorry. I have to change brushes. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm going to take my little dollar store brush. Oh, that works better, actually. Going into my Phthalo Blue. And I'm going to do the same thing here. And I want to put some of that blue into the green as well, so that it blends. I saw this technique on a channel. She made it look so easy. I don't know if I'm doing as good a job as she did. I think I'm erasing all of my white here. What the heck? This is all in good fun. And then I'm going to grab some of that magenta. I really want that to show though, so I'm going to use a light touch. Yeah, I think I've erased pretty much, painted over all of my white, so I don't know, I guess I didn't have to put all the white in. I could have just started by doing this. Grab a little more green. All the white's gone, so let's just make this into a nice painting. And some blue. So anyone watching the replay, don't bother with the white. Don't bother. Love that magenta though. It's sort of, when you mix it with the blue, it turns purple. I'm gonna add a little more. Okay, Karen, you've added some chat there. Let me see. I've been using a red light face wand. It's supposed to help rebuild collagen and fade scarring, reduce redness. I couldn't afford the whole face mask light. I swear I'm noticing a difference. A light face wand. Huh. I'm gonna have to look into that. I'll have to get one and do another infomercial on Lexi and Rain. But I'm prescribed tretinoin too, but I've been out of that for years. I don't use the light and that together, but the tretinoin definitely helps soften skin once you get used to it. It can cause peeling at first. Oh, really? Oh, it's a red light? The red light face wand. Okay, cool. I'll look into that. I don't mind getting a little help. Not that I'm trying to disguise the aging process or anything like that, but okay. Okay, I managed to salvage this a little bit, but I do want to put some more green in there. I want to get some of that magenta off. So I'm going to grab some more paper towels here. I like trying other people's techniques when I watch them, but a lot of the times it just doesn't work out for me. You know, it just doesn't, it's not the same, but it still looks nice. I think it still looks nice. Got some more green. Okay, I'm good with that. So what I'm going to do now is, same as before, I'm going to put in some trees. And the stars are all gone too. That's all right. I'm going to put in some trees with a little flat brush. And I'm going to use black for that. Or, yeah, I'm going to use black. Got some black out already. So I'm just going to put some more black in down here. I love doing paintings. It's so relaxing. There's so many stressors in life. Retinol. Okay, I know what you mean now. That's for the skin. I know what retinol is, yeah. And you need a prescription for that? I guess so, eh? Okay, so I've got my little base here. Oh, thank you. I love the colors too. Could use a little more green at the base though. Let me check. Check. because I say check out the chat, but I'm not checking out the chat. I'm checking out the painting. I'm going to use a little more green. Hope I don't wreck it. My canvas is moving around. And I'm using that tall brush too. I hate it. I'm not using it ever again. Okay, let me grab something else here. I have a fan brush. Okay, I'll just use my fan brush. This is a fan brush. It looks like a fan. It works well for that too. Just wanted to add a little more green. Maybe move it in here a little bit. And I'll wipe that off. Let me take a look at that. Okay, maybe a little more magenta. Once I start, sometimes I can't stop. Okay, I think that's good. A little more green. I think that's good. I'll add a little more. This is what I'm doing. You notice? Oh, that's good. Oh, wait, no, I have to add more. Oh, that's good. Oh, wait, no, I have to add more. Okay. Stop that now, Reen. Okay. Stopping. And I've got my flat brush again. I'm going to make some trees. I need a little more black, though. The prescription is the best version of it. Oh, plus I need these, what is that? Malaya patches? Genetic? For an issue that you have. What is that, Karen? Is that for the skin as well? All right, I'm going to add some trees. Same as before, just some bunch of trees here. Just tapping, tap, 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 tap. I don't want to put a tree over that green. It looks really nice there. This is just the idea of a tree, you know. I'm not trying to make it look ultra realistic. I'm so happy that my friend Dixie came in from Blogger. You know, the thing is, with these different platforms, people are very loyal to their platform. You know, I've noticed that a lot of people who are on Blogger, they won't come to YouTube. They like the written word. They'll stay on Blogger. They'll read blogs. They'll write blog posts. They don't like YouTube. They don't like video formats, you know? A lot of people are like that. I used to be like that, actually. But I really enjoy the video format. I like the spoken word over the written word when it comes to connecting on social media and stuff like that. I really, really enjoy it. And I'm very comfortable in front of the camera too now. Okay, well, I'm going to leave this just like that. Okay, that is my painting of the Northern Lights. And, you know, I started off with doing the white and all that. It's completely unnecessary, completely unnecessary. But I wanted to try it, so I'm glad that I tried it. Now, I'm going to clean up my area a little bit here, and I'm going to actually start drawing the Northern Lights. So let me get rid of all of my painting stuff. I like this one better. I like the magenta, that's why. Because this one, I didn't put any magenta in this one, right? Although it looks pretty good, except for that little spot right there. It's dry now. I can probably fix it now, but I'll wait till after to fix it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the magenta. Works very well with the blue. I love it. Turns purple. Really, really nice. Yeah, you like this one better? I think this one's better because of the magenta in there. So I'm just going to put this away. And I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to put all of my painting stuff away. I probably could have done this in 2. Hey, I brought this out and I never used it. Never used it. Okay, let me move this to an area where the dogs will not be tempted to drink from it. All right. And the paint going away. I still have paint all over my fingers. What are you up to, Karen? I know you had your live stream this morning. Selena's going to be on Saturday Night Love with me. Bill was supposed to be on. Well, we talked about that. He had a bit of a conflict, so he can't make it. And so I asked Selena, and she's like, "Yeah, I'd love to." So it's going to be fun. I have an interesting topic, and we may dress up. We may dress up. Chores, yeah, fun. I'm going to move this too. Now you get to see my workspace, my dirty old workspace. Because I want to grab my drawing pad if I can find it. I had it somewhere. You should see what's going on my table here. It's ridiculous. I have too much stuff here. Now, where did I put my drawing pad? There we go. There's my drawing pad. I'm going to fix my tripod so that it's a little lower. There we go. It's a little lower. I'll try to put some more light on here. I just don't want to have a glare, you know. And I'll pull out my coloring pencils. Got those all ready. And my odorless solvent is ready. And I think that's all I need. I'm going to try to do this. Okay, everything's good here? There we go. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm a framer, so I'm going to grab some masking tape. Where's the end of it? There we go. And I'm going to just frame out my page here. Because I like to frame my page. One of the dogs is drinking. You don't have to drink it all, Lucy. She's looking at me. What you talking about? Now, here's a little tip, okay? When you're putting masking tape on anything, don't push it down with your fingers. Use something, because there is such thing as burning your fingers with masking tape. I've done it. It feels icky. Really icky. Okay, there we go. Hey, Nancy. Do I get to sing for you, Nancy? Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey. Thank you for being here, Nancy. Oh, wait, I want to show you. Nancy, this was one of the paintings. I know there's a glare now. Let me fix that. Take that off. There we go. This was one of the paintings I just did. I moved my camera down because my for my colored pencil drawing, it's going to be a little closer. But yeah, look at that. That's the first. That was the second one I did. There we go. Don't you love those purpley colors and the pinks? And then I did another one. This is all with acrylics. This is the other one I did. And I showed how to do it really, really easily. Except for that little, that was a piece, that was a drop of water that hit the, I'm going to have to fix that after. But yeah, those are the two Northern Lights paintings I did. And now I'm about to do some Northern Lights with coloring pencils. I say that every time. Colored pencils, colored pencils. So I'm just getting all my stuff ready here. Had to get all the paint out of the way because it's everywhere. When I paint, I'm a messy painter. All right. I had some more people in before Nancy. I had like 7 people watching at one point. It was really cool. New person I'd never seen before. Her name was Juliet. She's going to watch the rest of the replay because she had to go. All right, so let me get myself together. Oh, yes, I want to put the light back on here so that we have a little more light. There we go. Okay, so we are going to draw the Northern Lights, and I've never done this before, so this is the first time I'm doing it. I do need a sip, though. Oh, my goodness. I filled my big beaker here with water and a splash of cranberry juice with lots of ice, and it's nice and cold. All right, cool. And I keep bashing into my phone as well. Let me put this down a little more, though, just so it's a little more even for viewing purposes. So I've taped out my page here. It's in I guess a rectangle. So I'm going to start. I'm going to grab just, I don't know, I'm going to grab my yellow. Not my yellow. I'm going to grab my black colored pencil just to sort of make a horizon area. I'm going to put mountains in this one. So I'm just going to go up with the mountain, just sketch out a few mountains, just so I know where everything's going. And then the bottom of the mountain is going to go about here. And this is probably going to be a lake because I want to reflect whatever I draw up here. The colors of the Northern Lights up here are going to be reflecting in the water down here. Okay, so I'm just going to start off with yellows. This is 915 lemon yellow. And I'm going to just give myself an idea of what I'm doing here. I have nothing planned. I'm just going in and coloring. And I'm turning my pencil just to make sure I don't wear it down all on one side. And I'm probably going to add a bunch of layers onto this. I have to look and see how I'm doing here. When you do a live stream with your phone, my goodness, does it eat up the phone battery. Whew. Plugged in, it's eating up the battery. Okay, so that's just the first layer there. And the next layer that I'm going to do is probably, I've got number 1002. It's called Yellowed Orange. And I'm just going to go around there with the yellowed orange. Like I said, I've never done this before with colored pencils, so we shall see what it looks like. In any case, I just want to have fun and relax. It's been crazy busy for me. This is so much fun. I get to yatter on while I'm drawing and painting. So let me go back to the lemon yellow. I almost said lemon yellow. And I'm going to try not to get any into the top of the mountain area. But I want to give that a second layer to make it nice and yellow. We were talking about pets before, Nancy. Did you ever get over to Septina's channel to check out her little birdies? Oh, it's a hard life, eh, Lucy? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend these two colors together this way and add a little bit more of the yellowed orange. Because if you want to blend colors together, it's nice to blend using lighter colors. So for example, if I want to blend the orange and the yellow together, I would take the yellow and bring the yellow into the orange to sort of soften up that edge. That's one way of blending. You can also use what's called a colorless blender. It's by Prismacolor. It's just basically it looks like a pencil, but it has no color on it, and it's just really a blender. I have the masking tape down here in the corner, and it's sticking to my sleeve, so I'm just gonna cut that off so it doesn't stick to my sleeve there. There we go. And there's a pet hair stuck under there. Of course. Yeah, there's the colorless blender. It looks exactly like a Prismacolor pencil, but it does blend. I'm not a fan of it, but I like to use odorless solvent, and I'll be pulling that out later too, I think. But in the meantime, why don't I just add a second layer of orangey yellow, or yellowed orange it's called. Oh, all my dogs are drinking. I got two going, two different bowls here. And I just always say this, don't press down too hard on when you're using colored pencils, because you don't have to. Just keep adding more layers. And I'm going to bring that orange, like I did over here, I'm going to bring that orange into the yellow a little bit. You okay, Ellie Faye? Was that yummy water? What I want to do is make sure that the color is solid. I don't want to see lines in there, especially in the blended areas. So I'm doing just a little cross hatching. For those of you who don't know, is I'm coloring in one direction and then in another. That's cross hatching. It just ensures that you get all the pigment onto your canvas. All right, lemon yellow again, blending it even more. Softening the edges. And I could go through the whole area here just to blend that yellowed orange a little better. That's one way, like I said, of doing it. Using a lot of pencil today, a lot of color. Okay, so the next color that I'm going to choose, let me see, probably going to choose that magenta color. I really like the magenta color. I'm going to go around and give that magenta, give that sky a little bit of magenta. Now I'm going to do maybe like this all the way up. Like that, magenta. Up here though, I'll probably just go up like this because I want to have a little bit of a dark sky on the top. Actually, I'm going to take a paper towel and just put that here so I don't get it all over my hand. I want to bring some of that magenta into the orange, but I'm going to wait for now. That's so beautiful. I'm going to do a little more just over here so that we have a nice transition of colors. Okay, I'm just going to go back to my box of colored pencils and grab a pink. Okay, so I brought out a couple of other pinks here just for blending. But I am going to give that another layer of magenta, or it's called process red. I call it magenta because it looks like magenta, but it's actually number 994, process red. See what I mean by one layer and two layers? That's why you don't have to press down hard, because you can just keep adding layers. And I've mentioned this before, but when it comes to Prismacolor pencils, they're wax based. So there are only so many layers that you can put on depending on what canvas you're using and how hard you've pressed. If you press down hard, it's difficult to get the layers that will stay on your canvas. But you'll know. You'll get to a point where it's like, oh, nope. That's it. 7 layers is enough. The page just won't let you put any more on. So I'm going to bring some of that process red into the orange. It actually turns it into a dark yellow. I've got this Deco Pink 1014. It's just a very light pink. You can see all the paint I still have on my fingers from when I was doing the painting the stars. I am just blending using the Deco Pink. You're not going to see the Deco Pink, but it's a good blender because it's a light pink. Going over the whole thing. It lightens it up a little bit too, which is nice. A lot of people use white as a blender as well. Oh, my puppy just flopped. Okay, so that's just the start. But what I'm going to do now, I showed you how you could blend using a lighter color. Just bring in some of those colors into the other ones so that it makes a nice transition. See, I'm adding some of that yellowed orange into the process red. I'm sort of going lightly around the edges because it looks nicer, you know, it's blended nicer. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my odorless solvent. Everything's in the description below, all the information about the odorless solvent. And I want to see how this blends using the odorless solvent. Not sure I have the right size brush. Hold on. Let me grab this one. I'm just kind of going over the whole thing with that solvent. And I'm going to go over the whole area of magenta. Sorry, I'm calling it magenta. It's process red. Yeah, I definitely prefer the odorless solvent as a blender. It really softens it up more. All right. Okay, so I'll put that away for now. And I'm going to add some more color here. Ooh, that was a big shake. Big shake. All right. Now I'm going to start by adding some blues. I've got a couple of blues here. I've got a bunch of them actually. Which one should I use? Let me see. I always have a little piece of the same paper that I'm using on the side so that I can do swatches and check out the colors. I like to see what colors I'm putting on here. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to start with the lightest blue I have, which is number 903. It's called True Blue. And I'm going to do this kind of area here, all in True Blue. And then I'm going to take a little bit of aqua. This is Aquamarine 905. And I'm going to fill in this area here with Aquamarine. And then I think I will probably make the sky a little darker here, but we'll see when we get there. Let's start with the True Blue. And you can bring some of that True Blue into the red, the process red color. And then when we blend it all, it'll make a nice purple. The blues really are, I call them dusty, because look at all the bits of pigment that fly off them. They're very dusty, if that's the right word for it. I'm trying to get right up to the edge of that masking tape. Okay, I'll give that a second layer. I almost said a second coat, but it's not really a coat because it's not paint. Second layer. Okay. And I'll just go and I'll take that aquamarine right away and just fill in that area with the aquamarine. You can basically choose any colors you want. You're just trying to make the sky look super vibrant and beautiful. The northern lights come in many colors. They're not just greens and blues. There we go. Give that a second layer color. Oh, the second layer is nice. Look at that. It's nice and deep color, aquamarine. There we go. Okay, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another color of blue. What do I have here? Oh, I have ultramarine. I love that color. Okay, the ultramarine is going to go up to the top. And I'm bringing it into both the process red and this aquamarine color. I might go and put some black in on the top. I'll see. And I'll give that a second layer right away. And then we can start blending just to see what we got going. I think I'll give it a third layer. I want that nice and dark. If I don't think it's dark enough, I can always add some black. There we go. And I think I'm going to add another layer of the true blue. Here it is. There we go. And that's that for that side. I'm going to start blending using my odorless blender. Just make sure there's no other color on it. And away I go. I'll start down here. You see how it's kind of, it pulls some of the color off at times. I'm just going to try to blend that a little better down here. I don't like the way that looks. The blues are hard to blend. I have to take some of that off. That's the great thing about this, though. the odorless blender, you can pull it off if you want. I just don't want it to look like a line, so I may have to go in and use some other blues to make that look better. But I'm just going to keep blending here. All right, I'll continue up into the ultramarine color. Let's see what this looks like if I do this. See what it does there? I really don't like that, but I can fix it. There we go. But you know, when you use odorless solvent, it really, really makes it look like a painting. I love it. Okay. I am going to use some of the solvent to remove that stuff from the side because I want to make it look better, and I think it'll look better if I just blend with colored pencils. I say coloring pencils. It's colored pencils. Okay, so for now, I'll be happy with that for now. And this stuff dries very quickly. It's probably already dry. Let me see. Yeah, it's already dry. So I'm going to try taking a lighter blue, which is light aqua, number 992. And I'm going to see how this looks here if I blend it into the processed red color. And I'm going to use that throughout here, even over the ultramarine. Because the whole idea is that you want to use light colors to blend. And I'm going over it. See, I'm going over it again. And it fills in any area that the pigment didn't stick to the paper. I like it a lot. There we go. So those are blending pretty well. I am going to take that true blue again and very lightly add a little into that aquamarine color. Very lightly though. I don't want it to show as a big band of color there. There we go. And the aquamarine, I'm going to try to add a little more up into the ultramarine. So we've got aquamarine and ultramarine. And the ultramarine, I think it looks pretty good the way it is. I'm just going to add a little more just to make sure I don't have any white spots on my canvas because this is a dark sky. And let me grab that process red again, which I call magenta, but it's not magenta. And I'm going to pull that over into the ultramarine. There we go. That's a little bit of a band of color there. I don't like that. I'm going to fix that. And I'm adding another layer of processed red as I go through here. I've got one snoring dog already. I'm going to grab the aquamarine again. Try to fix that area there. There we go. It was just a little too much of a band of color for me, for my liking. And all that pigment flying off the colored pencil. All right, how about I grab that pink, Deco Pink. I'll try to blend this a little better here on this side. There we go. All right, and the light aqua. See what it does up here. Okay. So that's good. I've got pretty much half of my sky done there. I am going to take a sip of water though, because I'm getting parched while I think of the other colors that I want to use. All right. Now, what shall I use? I think I'm going to go with, I want to add some green at some point. So for the greens, I think I'm going to add, let me see, sort of a little green in this area, and maybe a little green in this area here. And this is True Green, number 910. I'm at a weird angle here, so my coloring skills aren't very good at the moment. Why don't I go ahead and give that a second layer right away? Okay, so I've got my second layer. Well, I hope the mute button worked, because I just had a little bit of a coughing fit there. I hope you didn't get that in your ear. I want to use more of that processed red too. I really, really love that color. I might just do the same thing on this side, make it all look uniform. I will have to see. Okay, I'm going to give that a second layer. All right, this is looking very nice, I think. I mean, I really enjoyed doing the paintings, but I have this colored pencil focus these days. I love doing colored pencils. Okay, for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of figure out where I want to put a little more. I'm going to put some more yellow here, just over this side of the mountain. And I'm going to blend everything all together later. All right, give that a second layer right away. This lemon yellow is very bright. I love it. It does not require that many layers to get that bright color. So I've got my yellowed orange, and I'm going to kind of do the same thing, but I'm going to make these a little bigger. I want to stay away from the green, though. Orange and green can make brown, and we don't want brown northern lights. All right, I'll bring some of that yellow, some of the yellowed orange, I should say, into the yellow. But like I said, I'm going to blend everything later. I just want to get all my base colors down right now. And I'm giving this a second layer here. Oh, I would love to be looking at this mountain and this sky right now. Okay. Now what I can choose is, let me choose a little pinky color just in between that green and the orange here, just a little pink. This is pink. 929, number 929. 929 and feeling fine. All right, I'll put some maybe on the side here. I actually have a nice orange color here too. It's called cadmium orange hue. It's 118, number 118. And maybe I'll do, oh, it's got a very pointy tip, just broke. Put a little orange in there. Broke again. There we go. It's a bit dark. And maybe I'll put a little more yellow in there on the bottom. I have another color here. It's called Yellow Chartreuse. Maybe I'll use that. They're all the tips are breaking because I like to sharpen my pencils very, very sharp to a pointy tip. Sometimes they just break. It may not be easy to decipher, but this yellow chartreuse has a little bit of a green hue to it, even though it's yellow. I'll take the yellowed orange and just add a layer of that to that darker orange because I'm not quite enjoying it right now. There we go. Now I'm going to start using some blues. I have some violet colors too. This is Copenhagen blue. That's a nice blue. How about I use the Copenhagen blue? I'm starting to get a little stuffed up here. I'm not sure why. That might be a little too dark, so I'll do a little band of it. And I'm bringing some of that up into the green as well. There we go. And I want to take the same color here, that true blue. That's a nice color, and I'll color all of that in here, true blue. Because I want the green to be surrounded by blue, just so it doesn't turn any other wacky colors. If I accidentally put yellow and green or orange and green, that is not going to work. Bring some of that pink into the blue after, and I'll make a nice purpley color. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a second layer. So I blended all of this before just to show you ahead of time what it could look like. But right now I'm just going to finish adding all of my colored pencil, and I will blend everything at the end. All right, I'll grab some of that Deco Pink. That's the light pink. I'm just going to pull some of that blue into the pink using the Deco Pink. And I really love this processed red, that color. I love it. I think I'm going to add some of that to this, just a little bit. See what that looks like when it's all blended. Okay. Now I do have these beautiful violet and violet blue colors that I really want to use. Let's see. They're pretty dark though. Maybe I'll use them a little higher up. I'm going to use the violet blue. That's 933. And I'm going to do this whole area here, that violet blue. maybe I'll make it go up like this. And I'll give it a second layer. The sun just came out. How nice. It's been overcast all morning and it's chilly out there. But it's finally starting to get walkable out on the trails, because at this time of the year it's just mud and it's really unpleasant to walk in. So I avoid it like the plague. I'm going to take my aquamarine color, okay? And I like to walk my dogs. I mean, I love walking my dogs. So it's nice now that I can walk along the trails and not sink into the mud. And I've got the 5 dogs. They each get an hour walk, 45 minutes to an hour. Today it was just 45 minutes because the back end of the trail is still quite muddy. But I take them 2 and 2 and 1. So I get a nice long walk myself. And in the summer, it's at least an hour. We go pretty far down the trail. Not too far down though, because there are bears. They're usually hiding during the day, but I don't want to take a chance. So what color should we put here? I think I want to put a little more of that yellowed orange, but not near the green. And I'm just going over that a second time, second layer. And I'm going to put that processed red right in the middle. Bringing some of it up into the aquamarine. See, it turns a nice little purple. I like that. And I'll go over it a second time. It's starting to come together here. Okay. Now I think I want to stick to blues from now on. So I've got, let's see, this is the ultramarine, which is this color here. And I'm going to add the ultramarine all the way around this green here. And all the way around this green here. And this, I'm not sure what color it'll be, but I'll figure that out after. I might do, well, we'll see. We shall see. I just want this to be super, super colorful. And why don't I join those up there? And I'll give it a second layer. I've got to get out today or someday soon, maybe not today, because I need to get some compost, but I have to plant my spring garlic. It's that time of year where it's time to start gardening. At least where I am here. I'm in a 4B zone and there's no more snow. the spring peepers, which are the tiny little swamp frogs, have made their yearly appearance in the swamp on my land. And when I hear those spring peepers, I know the winter is done. And I can start planting garlic or any other bulbs that I want to pop up in the fall. All right, what color should we do there? I'm trying to think now. I like this color combination of the aquamarine and the true blue. So I think I'm going to do that again. I'll do a little true blue like this. And I'll put aquamarine in the middle. There, I'll give it a second layer. Getting my stomach is rumbling, grumbling. Now for the aquamarine. Oh, there goes my stomach. I know it has to do with talking. Because I did eat something before I started. But when you talk a lot, when you're doing live streams or videos, you'll notice that your stomach starts to rumble a little bit. Okay, so that is my sky. I am going to start blending. This side is blended already. I'm going to start blending this side after I take a little sip of water. All right. I'm going to start with the lighter areas, the yellow. And I have a paper towel handy here to wipe off my brush. There are just some bits of hair, dog hair or cat hair or someone's hair. It's not my hair. So I'm just blending with my odorless solvent. Okay. Blend that a little better. You have to be careful around the blue there with the orange and the green. I don't want it to turn into mud. Oh, my dog's drinking her water. Oh no, it's my puppy. He's drinking his water. I don't like how the orange doesn't blend well with the solvent. I have to pull it off a little bit here. But I'm going to fix that after. See, it's already turned a little brown there, so I'm going to fix it after with more colored pencil. But, all right. Let me do the magenta color, the process red. Oops, get rid of that. Okay, this is coming together nicely. I'm going to do the green now. Make sure it does not touch that orange. But I don't mind if it touches the blue because those blend well together. But you see down there, we've got a little bit of a muddy brown color, which is kind of icky. You guys okay? Okay, what I'm going to do right away is I'm going to take some of that, let's see, some of the aquamarine. I'm just going to color over that brownish area, kind of like this. And I'm going to use the solvent to kind of do what I did here. See, it kind of pulls the pigment off a little bit. I think it's just my paper. Probably not meant for solvent, this paper that I'm using. But that's okay. I am having a blast, even though I'm alone here. I'm just having so much fun. It's rare that I take time to just paint for fun anymore, and I'm so glad that I'm doing it via this live stream. I said paint, I'm drawing, but you know, I'm using a paintbrush, so it feels like I'm painting. I'm gonna pull some of that ultramarine into the green there. Now, it might look kind of funny right now, but I'm not finished yet because I want to add more colored pencil to the areas that are supposed to be blending together. Just so that it's a little more fluid in the blending. I don't know if you can hear my cat. He's in the other room, but he's meowing. Okay. So all of that is blended with the solvent for now. And I'm going to use my colored pencils just to blend it a little bit better. Just a little bit better. And I'm going to mute my microphone for a second. Okay, there we go. All right, so how about I take some of that light aqua, 992, And I'm kind of going to go around this green area here. Just where it's touching the blues. Not the aquamarine, just the blues. Right, and I'm going to take that green also. True green, number 910, and I'm just going to add another layer to this green color here. Just to make it a little more vibrant. Now what just happened was I touched the ultramarine with the green, and some of that got in there. So I'm going to grab the solvent to erase it. That solvent works really good for that too. There, I got rid of that. Let that dry just for a second. Then add another layer of the green. To be careful around that ultramarine, it bleeds. Okay, so now I will use, I believe I'm going to grab the violet blue, which is 933. That's a very dark pigment. And I'm going over the whole area that has ultramarine in it. Just to give it a second layer. Did I blend that? It doesn't look like I blended it. Hold on. There's my stomach again. There, that looks a little better. I think I forgot to blend that area. Now what I want to do is I want to take a light color. I do have that true blue. I'm going to go in and I'm going to try to blend this area a little better. Okay. And I will take the light aqua and go over where I have the aquamarine. Or anywhere that I have blue, just as a blender. Now I have this pink color, Deco Pink. I would like to blend the aquamarine a little better into that process red. Anywhere there's process red, I use the pink to blend. You can also use the pink to blend the orange. That's definitely, you can use that. Let me wipe that off. It's got a little bit of ultramarine on it. I'm going to try to blend the green a little better here. It's actually doing something cool. It's kind of creating a light area in the ultramarine. Very nice. So I'm going to take that process red again, and I'm going to add a little bit more in some areas. And my yellowed orange. Add some more of that to this whole area. Not in the green though. We don't want brown. and my lemon yellow. Okay, I'm okay with my sky. It's a little patchy. Maybe I'll add some, I hope I don't ruin it, add a little bit of true blue into the green. And I'll just give that a little bit of solvent. Don't want all that ultramarine in there though, so I'm going to get rid of that. There we go. And I've got to take some of that. There was a little bit of green on my brush, so I have to be careful not to mix that in with the orange or the yellow because we don't want brown. There we go. I think I'm going to leave the sky alone now. I tend to keep going and going and going, and I forget that maybe I should stop at some point. So we're going to see how that looks after, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little bit of a black mountain here. So this is our mountain here. Why don't I start with, I've got my violet blue color, and I'm just going to go over the top of the mountain with the violet blue. Actually, I'm going to put this here just so I don't get all that on my hands. Okay. And there we go. Those are going to be the mountains that I'm doing. And I kind of want a little bit of a light color. Maybe I've got, this is Copenhagen blue. I'm going to see what this looks like on top. My goal is just to have a lot of color. That's the goal of this painting or drawing. And I'll give it a second layer. Okay, and I've got that, where is it? The violet. I want to see which one's darker, the violet or the violet blue. I think the violet might be a lighter color. Yes, it is. So I'm going to use the violet just a little bit here, maybe on this side too, just in there. These are not realistic looking mountains, are they? That's okay. I'm really not going for realism here. I just love color. I just noticed there's a big shadow there. Is that from this? No, it's not. I'm not sure what that's from. I have all of my curtains open, so as the sun moves across the sky, I hope the lighting is still good. All right. I'll go over that a second time. I may darken it. I'm going to see how it looks. And I'll just bring some of that violet into the Copenhagen blue on this side too, so that when we're blending, hopefully it'll look nice. Now I'm going to take my violet blue and I'm going to fill in the entire rest of the mountain there. I just want it to be a nice dark purple. And on this side, I'm not going to blend it in here because I want this to look like, a separate mountain. But I will blend it into the blue and the violet here. And these, when they blend all together, they're going to look really nice. All the blues and the purples. Okay, I'll give that a second layer right away. Oh, this is an odd. I'm going to have to turn this a little bit, guys. It's a very weird position for me. I want it to look nice for you, but it's hard for me to color in from this angle. Okay, I'll straighten that back up for you. And I'm going to color this entire area in here with this violet blue. And I'm going to bring some of the violet blue into that violet color there. Depending on how that looks, I might actually cover the whole thing. We're going to see. I hope you guys don't mind if I turn this way a little bit. It's much easier for me to color it in that way. And I'm turning my pencil because I definitely don't want it to wear down on one side. I'm putting very light layers on right now, but I am going to be putting on 3 or 4, I think, because I want it to be as dark as that. So I'm going to bring that color up into the blue. And into this purple as well. It's called Violet. Look at all the pigment flying off of this pencil. It's crazy. And then after, when we're finished doing the mountain, we're going to do this area down here, which is going to be the lake, and it's going to have some of the reflections of the sky in it. It's going to look really nice. And I want to use a little bit of black in the mountains too. Maybe around the top. But we'll see when we get there. Oh boy. This is a lot of color. A lot of color today. In this mountain here. Seem to be having a hard time adding pigment to the page from this colored pencil. Not sure why. But I guess I could try to blend it with another color. That's as dark as it's going to get, I think. Interesting. Well, maybe I could take, I have that ultramarine. I could add a layer of ultramarine everywhere and see if we can get a darker color out of that. Yeah, it's a little darker. I could always add black, you know, if I wanted to. And I'm sure when I blend this, it'll get nice and dark. Okay, so I do want to have a very straight line here for the water. That's kind of curvy, but that's all right. There we go. Now, in the water, we do want to reflect the mountains a little bit, but I'm going to use a bit of a lighter color. How about I could start off with cerulean blue, and I'm just going to add a little reflection of the mountain. Basically, you want to do the opposite of what you've got there. So this is lots of colors, huh? Okay, so I'm going to give that a second layer right away. And I might add some of the darker color to this as well. I'll see. We'll see how it looks after we start blending. Now what I want to do is I have a little bit of space left here at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what colors I want to put in, right? Because it's reflecting the sky, but the mountain is kind of covering this area here. So I think what I would probably choose to do is from the oranges up. So I'll take my yellowed orange, and I'm looking here, and it's going that way, right? So I want it to come up and then down a little bit here, and then like this. All of this is going to be that yellowed orange. And then in the middle here, I've got that line of process red right there. And on top of this side here. Right like this. That's all going to be the process red color. And then on either side, I've got green just here. I'm going to put a little green right here. But I don't want to get it into the orange, so I'm going to be real careful there. But I'll add the green right away. And I'm going to take that true blue color, and that's going to be the rest of it. Over here, I'm going to add the true blue on this side. I should do the orange, huh? And I'll push. I'll put a little bit of that here into the green so that it'll blend nicely. And all of this here is going to be true blue under here. All right. Oh, my dog. When he flops on the floor, he really flops. There we go. So, let me do the orange. I'm doing it backwards, huh? Be careful not to get orange into the blue. We don't want mud. Okay, give that a second layer. And here too, I'll be careful around that blue. It's okay around the red color is fine, but don't want to mix blue and orange or orange and green. All right, and I'm giving it a second layer as I go. There we go. Now, last but not least, we've got that process red color that I just absolutely adore. And I'll give it a second layer right away. And I'm going to bring some into the orange. Wow, I filled up the page, didn't I? I'll give it a second layer. I'll bring some into the blue as well. But we don't need to put some in the green. Okay. So I think I'm going to grab a little bit of that blue violet. And before I do that, though, I'm going to take my black and just sort of divide the mountain from the water. There. And add a little black to that mountain. I just feel like I want it to be a little darker. Just in the front. Okay, and then the violet blue, I'm going to add some to this blue here. So this is a little darker. deco pink that I had. That's what I can use around the edges here. Just sort of blend it all together. Okay, now I am going to blend with my solvent, and we're going to see how that looks. I will most likely have to add more color. Oh, I got a little hair there. It's still there. There we go. Just going to blend that mountain. And I'm taking my time here. And I realize I've been on for 3 hours. Time is flying for me. But I dedicated my whole afternoon to this live stream, so if it takes 4 hours to do it, it takes 4 hours to do it. And I'm happy to do it. I just wish someone was in the chat. Be nice to chat with someone. But we had some people in this morning, or earlier, I guess it was morning. Yeah, because I started at 11 o'clock my time. And it's now 1 o'clock my time. And I'm so impressed by my dogs who have been so quiet throughout this whole live stream. I'm so proud of them. And as I say that, they're all getting up. I shouldn't have said anything. Shouldn't have jinxed it. I'll do this side. Oh. Someone's dreaming and kicking my desk. Wow, she's really dreaming there. She was kicking my desk and the whole thing was moving. There we go. So the mountains, I think, look pretty nice. I'm glad I chose these purpley colors for the mountain. I'm going to make sure my brush does not have any blue on it, because I'm going to start with the orange down here. Okay. Do that process red color. Love it. I'll grab that brush and put a little, there we go, a little solvent on the blue and green down here. And again, I'm doing things backwards. because I didn't do this area yet. There we go. That's all blended. And I'm going to just go back into the mountain a little bit here. Just blend that a little better. Okay. Now I'm going to do the finishing touches. Okay, so this was a little crooked. Sorry about that. Now I want to blend the orange and the blue a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is take my lemon yellow color and just go over that a little bit like this. See, the orange and the blue turns things a little green when you add yellow. Gives it a little glow. My cat's scratching on the wall. He won't touch his scratch post, but he will scratch the wall. Silly guy. And now I can take maybe just pink and move some pink into the orange. And I'm going to add just a little more green there. There we go. Last but not least, I've got my black. And I think I'm going to just outline the top of the mountain in black. Just like that, just to make it stand out. And I'm going to add just some areas like this. And I'm going to turn my canvas, guys, because I can't draw the other way. I think that would be too hard for me to do. There we go. So I just wanted that to stand out a little better. And I think I'm done with this. This is the yellowed orange. Yeah, it's a yellow orange. It's just a little piece of pigment I wanted to get off there. There we go. So that is my colored pencil version of the Northern Lights. I'm going to just pull the masking tape off. There we go. Oh, wow. I really like that. I am super pleased with that. Look at that. I really, really like that. If I did anything different, I might bring the green all the way up like I did with this red color And over here too, I would bring the green all the way up. But otherwise, I really like the colors that I chose. And the first time I've ever done a drawing of the Northern Lights. So not too shabby. So this was my drawing as a recap. These are all dry now. This was my painting, but it's hard to see with the lights. Let me move the lights so you can see that better. This is the painting with that beautiful magenta color. And my other painting, my third painting, which I'm going to fix after because a little drop of water hit it. But there you go. Those were the Northern Lights there. And I'll put these properly up on the thumbnail so you can see what they look like. But this one too, I'm pretty proud of myself. Loving it. So 3 hours in, 2 paintings and a drawing done, and I am super, super relaxed. I want to thank everyone who popped into the chat to support me. And hopefully you're going to draw the Northern Lights or paint the Northern Lights. Please let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you'd like to. I'm going to try to do live streams every Thursday if I can do it. If life will allow me, I will do live streams on this channel every Thursday. I do live streams on my other channel, Spiritual Rain, quite often. All the links will be in the description below. And thanks for those watching on the replay. If you have done this painting or if you have done this drawing, can you let me know in the comments too? I'd like to see it. Or tag me on Instagram, Rain Francis Art on Instagram. So have a beautiful day, my friends, and take a look at the sky tonight. Just enjoy the sky, even if it's clouded over, even if you're in the city and you can't see very well. Just open up your eyes and look at the sky and enjoy Mother Nature. Thanks for watching, friends. See you next time. Bye.